Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited about this game. Ratigan is one of my favorite Disney villains of all time, and I really love his game in Disney Villainous. Well, first of all, hi, welcome, everyone, to another round of Disney Villainous Solitaire. We're playing Disney Villainous by ourselves because we have a lot of time to kill, and there's lots of villains to play. I've already made videos for all 6 of the villains in the original release and all 3 of the villains in the first expansion. We are on our second villain in the second expansion, Evil Comes Prepared. We played Scar last time. And now we're moving on to the greatest, Ratigan. One of my favorite villains, played in the movie The Great Mouse Detective by notorious bisexual and fellow St. Louisan Vincent Price. Just the greatest. I love Ratigan. I think he's one of the few male villains that enjoys being as flamboyant as some of the female villains. Not a nice guy, but just he's having fun with what he does, and I can get on board with that. So I really love Ratigan's game as well. It is, similar to like the Evil Queen. There's a level of difficulty to it that is good for advanced players. There's a lot going on. There is an extra tricky thing that can happen with your objective. And so I don't recommend him for first-time players, but if you want a little more of a challenge, dive into Ratigan, okay? So if you are at home by yourself, or you are up late by yourself, or you just want to practice one of the characters from this game and get some more strategy, get some more work on your strategy, follow along, and I'll show you how we play Disney Villainous Solitaire. And actually, I'll put a little card up on the video at this point because it was a solo playthrough of Ratigan from another channel that I saw that first outlined for me how to play a Disney Villainous Solitaire game, and then I added my own tweaks. So I'm blanking on the name of that channel, but it's going to appear right up here. So you can go there and check that guy out and, see if you like his rules, my rules, make your own rules, whatever allows you to enjoy yourself and have fun playing this game. But I prelude too much. So let's get into it, shall we? Like I said, there's an extra twist with Ratigan's objective. He has 2 possible objectives on this little tile here. Look at that. But we always start with this one. His first objective is to start your turn with the Robot Queen at Buckingham Palace. Okay. And you put that right here. Now, if Basil comes along and screws up his plans, that miserable little pipsqueak, then your objective changes, and it cannot change back. You have to defeat Basil, but we'll get to that when it happens. So we're doing Disney Villainous Solitaire style. You can watch many other videos that I've already made, and hopefully more to come. If you are having a good time watching these videos and you want to help someone out who's trying to provide some entertainment while he's on furlough from work and still needs to pay bills, leave me a tip at ko-fi.com/Strudy. If you're not being entertained yet, I'm sorry. Let's start playing a game and I'll entertain you. Okay. So when we play a solitaire game of Disney Villainous, we give ourselves 20 turns. I use a 20-sided die to keep track of my turns. I start with the 20 side up and move it down to 19 after my first turn, and so on from there. You could use stacks of coins or stacks of power tokens or a little counter on your phone or whatever you want to keep track of your turns, just as long as you make sure you're keeping track and you have 20 turns to accomplish your objective. We also have a 6-sided die for rolling between our turns to see if we get fated. I have this very pretty one here. But then I also went ahead and made my own fate dice with symbols on them, and that's what I'll be using while I play this game, but I'll also backtrack and let you know how to use a 6-sided die to do it for you. Okay? So we have Ratigan's board, his realm. We've got his objective tile right here set up with our initial objective, and his mover with his little, dramatic cloak swoop there. We've got his villain deck. We've got his fate deck. We have the fate token right here. We've got Mickey keeping us company. I've got some more Disneyland souvenirs here. That's Dale right there. My twin sister has Chip. So those are our cartoon avatars, sort of. Okay. It's just kind of a big rodent extravaganza here. Chipmunks and mice and, best not to call him that. But anyway, so we're going to start our first turn by drawing our first hand of 4 cards. You'll notice there's a blank spot here at this location at Ratigan's secret lair. And that's very much like the jail in Prince John's game. He can send heroes here to make them less of a hassle to him. And Ratigan can do something similar. Ratigan has a couple more action symbols than Prince John has, just because he's got to be able to use an activate symbol. But he still also has a space with a gain 3 power symbol and 2 play a card symbols, and that's where I like to start my first turn when I play, so I can get a little jump on things. We're going to gain 3 power. And then we'll take a look at our hand and see what we have to start off with. I like this hand very much. This is an excellent hand. Because it lets us do something right away that is going to help us out a lot. First of all, Ratigan's deck is chock full of items. He's items, gadgets and gizmos and traps and such that he uses to accomplish his goal. And there's one particular item in particular, that we're looking for, the Robot Queen, that's going to help us accomplish our objective. But she's very, very expensive. So he has other items to help reduce the cost of that. Because otherwise, you just be saving up for every player. One of those is gears. You can just play those for 1 power. There's a lot of these. You can stack them up, and when you play another item, you can discard a gear, and it takes 3 power off the cost of that item. So obviously, you want to stack up a lot of gears to make the Robot Queen less expensive. We have this amazing ally, Felicia. Don't we love Felicia? Ratigan doesn't have a lot of allies, and the ones he does have are weak, so you always want to try to find Felicia as soon as you can and keep her in the game, because she comes in very handy against all them mice heroes. But what we're going to do first is play Fidget, our little buddy Fidget. Okay? We're going to play him for 1 power. We'll just play him right here to Flaversham's Toy Shop. And his ability is that when Fidget is played, we find Flaversham and play him to Flaversham's Toy Shop. So we play him. Find Flaversham. Yeah. We're going to find him in our Fate deck. So when a card says to find another card, just go into the deck and find that card. See all these heroes going by us? We'll probably see them soon enough. And of course, the one I'm looking for is always near the bottom. So there's Flaversham. If you are playing Fate against Ratigan, and here I gotta reshuffle my Fate deck because I looked at it. Right, I had to look at it to find the card. If you are playing against Ratigan and you play Fate, best really not to play Flaversham, because Flaversham is really there to help Ratigan. If he is sitting at the secret lair, it costs 3 less power to play the Robot Queen. So you recall in the movie, if you recall in the movie, Ratigan had Fidget kidnap Flaversham to help him build the Robot Queen, right? Okay, so we played him to Flaversham's Toy Shop, and we're going to say that we use that play a card symbol to do that, because we have another card we're going to play. This was just a really lucky draw, you guys. We got Fidget and this capture card. Move a hero with a strength of 3 or less to the secret lair. This is mostly to be used for Flaversham to get him into our secret lair. You can use it on other heroes too, certainly, to get them over there and get them out of your hair. But if you have the capture card, you really want to save it for Flaversham. So we have right away, in our very first turn, found Flaversham and played him to the secret lair. That's kind of amazing. Ratigan is proud of all of you. Nobody gets fed to Felicia today. So that's going to end my turn. I draw my hand back up to 4 cards. And now I'm going to roll the fate die to see if I get fated. I'm sorry. Wait, first we're going to turn our turn counter down to 19. Okay, so if you are at home with your own 6-sided die, this is when you're going to roll for fate between your turns. If you roll a 1 or a 2, you play fate on yourself. Draw 2 cards, pick one and play it, discard the other. If you roll a 3 or a 4, nothing happens. If you roll a 5 or a 6, you can play a condition card from your hand if you have one. All right, so I've just kind of made those same kind of conditions on my own fate die with symbols. So if I roll a fate symbol, I have to play fate. If I roll the little pink play a card symbol, I can play a condition card. I might lose 1 power. Or I might roll a 0 and nothing will happen. Okay, so let's roll for fate. I call this my fate attack die because this is when fate is being played against me. All right, so I have rolled the fate symbol. Whew, a lot happening in this first turn, you guys. Let's see what we got. Oh my lord. Already coming for us is Basil. You obviously want to play Basil right away. Okay. When Basil is played or moved, you may discard 1 item from his new location. Fortunately, at the moment, we don't have any items in our realm for Basil to discard, but he can be moved around by other cards in the Fate deck and just get rid of all of our beautiful designs that are helping us take over the kingdom. So as the opponent to Ratigan, I'm going to play him here. It's going to cover up his gain 2 power symbol, and Ratigan really needs power to be able to play that expensive robot queen, so that's a good place to put him. Basil is how you, if you are playing against Ratigan, discard the robot queen. So if the robot queen is discarded, you have to flip this over, and your new objective becomes to defeat Basil. If I defeat him right now, and then he's brought back again to discard the robot queen, I still got to defeat him again. It ain't over until he's really gone, okay? So that's happened to me a couple of times. I have pulled out the win with Ratigan a couple of times with the queen, but also a couple of times I've had to sick Felicia on him. That's how these things go. Okay, so that was the end of our first turn. That was really eventful, you guys. We captured a hero. We got hit by our nemesis. My goodness. Just the things happening here. Whoo-wee. I am not going to play Felicia yet because she's an expensive card, and I have to discard an ally when I play her, or pay 2 power. So she's basically 5 power. And I only have 1 power right now, and I can only get 1 more, because it's the only space I can move to that has more power. But I can play... Oh, no, I can't, because that's 3 power. Okay, never mind. Fidget has served his purpose by bringing Flaversham out. That's really the only thing I need him for. So I'm going to move him over here to Basil. He's not strong enough to take out Basil right now, but we'll just have him there for the time being. And really the only thing we can afford to play right now is the gears for 1 power. And I'm just going to set that right here. So you'll notice there's this sabotage card, and that lets you discard a cheaper item. You can't get rid of the mouse queen with this, or the robot queen with this, but it lets you discard a cheaper item that's the same location as a hero. So I have Flaversham cooped up here to use for my nefarious plans, and I don't want to stack items over here because he's he can easily sabotage things with that, and I would rather not. Uniform is a nice card to play because it strengthens an ally and instantly lets them perform a vanquish action, but it's still not enough to make Fidget strong enough to defeat Basil, so here we are. So I've moved Fidget, I've gained 1 power, I've played a card, I'm not going to discard anything. I will perform a fate action. So when you perform a fate action, when I perform a fate action, playing Disney Solitaire, I roll my fate defense die. When you do it and you have your 6-sided die, if you roll a 1, you get to gain 1 power. Or roll a 1 or a 2, you gain 1 power. If you roll a 3 or a 4, nothing happens. And if you roll a 5 or a 6, you're going to take the fate token and put it on top of your fate deck. And that way you're protected the next time that you roll fate with the fate attack die. Okay. So I'm going to see what happens. And I have roughly the same operations happening on this die. I have a 0. I can lose 1 power. I just threw that in there to give it a little bit of risk, to make it really about fate, you know? Okay, I got the fate symbol, so I'm going to put my fate token right here. That is helpful because I've already got my nemesis out there and he is enough trouble. Thank you. So that is the end of my turn. I'm going to draw my hand up to 4 cards. What do we get? Oh, we got more gears. Okay, you're going to draw a lot of these, and it's okay. They only cost 1 power, and every time you play one, it makes it cheaper to play the Robot Queen later. Okay, so we turn our counter down to 18, and we take our next turn, or we roll for our next fate action. Hui. Okay, so we rolled fate, but we had the fate token on our deck. So rather than play fate, we just remove the fate token. And this is similar to the way that you're protected in a multiplayer game. When you have fate played on you and you get to hold the fate token and you're safe until someone else takes it. All right, let's move on to our next turn. Going back to Flabbershim's Toy Shop and getting some power. Woo! I still don't have enough to play Felicia because I need... Well, I either need 5 power or I discard Fidget. And like I said, Fidget has accomplished his goal, for his task for me by getting Flabbershim. But he still has 3 strength and I'd like to use him... I'd still like to use him to defeat a hero rather than just discard him. So we're going to wait on that. And we're going to spend our money on this marvelous trap. I don't love the marvelous trap. It is kind of a last resort. Like I say, Ratigan doesn't have a lot of allies outside of Felicia. This can be useful, though. It can defeat multiple heroes at once. All heroes at its location are defeated when you activate it, but you have to wait. You activate it on your turn, and then at the start of your next turn, if it hasn't been discarded or removed by your opponents, then it works. It springs into action. And I usually cannot make that work. But I don't really have a lot of options right now. So I don't want to play Felicia just yet. I'm going to play a second card. I'm going to play another set of gears. So we're looking at... Whoops. Come here, buddy. We're looking at 3, 6, 9 power being taken off the cost of our Robot Queen. That's pretty good. So we're going to draw our hand back up to 4 for the end of our turn. Ooh, we have Fidget's list. That's very good. We have tools. Excellent. I was looking for that as well. Okay, we're snagging some good items. Ratigan he has a lot of items, and it's fun to just pile them up all over the place, and they do cool things, and it's a lot of fun. I really feel like I'm Ratigan pulling off schemes and traps and gadgets and whatnot. I do enjoy this game. So we are turning our counter down to 17, and we are going to roll for fate. I'm going to give this a good shaking because I'm afraid I'm not actually rolling my dice randomly at the moment. But let's see. Oh, wow. Another fate action. I'm worried we're going to get our butts kicked here, guys. Okay. Queen's Guards, I don't know what the deal with these guys are. I mean, they're medium strength, like 3. But you can only play them in the Buckingham Palace, and I kind of don't know what the point of that is. It doesn't make them any stronger or more useful. It just means you can only play them to one location. I don't know. I hardly ever play them unless I just don't have anything better to do. But I do, because I have the makeshift balloon. I can attach this to Basil. It's going to make him 2 strength stronger, and I can move him to any location. So, he's already at this location, so he's not going to end up discarding the Marvelous Trap. That's a good thing. But I will move him over here to the toy shop, and we'll discard one of the gears. So Basil is already causing me trouble. Let's put it right there so you can see the +2. So he has now 8 strength. That's a super strong hero. Whew. But we'll get him. We'll get him, guys. Never fear. I'm out of power, otherwise I'd go to my secret lair and activate a trap. But can't. I'm going to go to Big Ben, because at least Basil moved off of that 2 power symbol. So I can get 2 power. I'm going to use my move an item or ally symbol and move my Marvelous Trap over here to Basil. Hopefully he stays put right there and quits moving around on me. And I'm going to play... Oops. Let's see. We're going to play a card now. Using this, I have exactly 2 powers. That's all I need. I'm going to play Tools to Flaversham's Toy Shop for 2 power. When Tools is in your realm, the cost to play items is reduced by 1 power. So that makes the Robot Queen a little bit cheaper, but also it makes the gears free because they're 1 power. So you can just keep playing gears and, hey, there's these 2 items that are 1 power each. These are free now. So this actually saves you a lot of money because you can play a lot more cards without having to pay for them. My Vanquish symbol is here, quite appropriate because that's where the big climactic fight happens in the movie, but I obviously cannot vanquish Basil right now. So, oh well. Let's end our turn. Draw a hand up to 4. Oh, perfect. I love this. That is just the card I needed to see. Yay. Ooh, this is so delightfully wicked. Okay, so that's the end of our turn, which means we turn our counter down to 16 if we can find the number. Give this a good shaking. Sometimes you just get the same roll over and over again. It's just the way these things pan out. All right, so we rolled the pink play a card symbol, which means we could play a condition card if we have one, but we don't have one. So nothing happens, and we move on to our next turn. And I am going to scooch on over to my secret lair. And for 0 power, I'm going to play this effect card, Greatest Criminal Minds. Sorry, Greatest Criminal Mind, singular. We're not talking about the TV show. Either draw 2 cards or gain 2 power. If you're looking for particular items, like your Robot Queen and whatnot, this is very useful. I'm working my way up towards making the Robot Queen less expensive, so I don't really need to search my deck at the moment. What I need is 2 power, so that's what I'm going to do. Excellent. And then, so I played a card, and then I'm going to pay the... let's arrange these so we can see what's going on here. I'm going to pay the 1 power to activate the Marvelous Trap. Now, in Ratigan's Villain Guide, they recommend that you take the 1 power that you're paying to perform the activate action and just set it on the trap card so that you can see that it's been activated. So, so visual cue, little reminder there. Okay, so I played a card, I've activated a card, and now I'm going to roll to perform the fate action. Maybe I can just snag a little bit more power. I don't know. No, crap. I lost power. Okay, well, That's the risk you take when you tempt fate. Okay. So we end our turn, draw back up to 4. Oh, perfect. Another good item. I'll show you that in a sec. We're drawing some good cards. And in fact, Ratigan has a lot of good cards. They're just a lot of fun cards to play. Okay, so we're going down to 15. Now, if you are playing at home and you have not been fated in your first 5 turns, when you get to 15, you automatically play Fate on yourself. And the same thing happens when you get down to 10. If you haven't been fated in the previous 5 turns, automatically get fated at 10 and also at 5. But we have been fated. What was that, like twice already? So we're not going to get automatically fated. We're going to roll for fate. And we might get fated anyway, but at least we know it's not an automatic thing. Got fated anyway. All right, what have we got? Oi, 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 oi. Okay, this is the greatest draw. Mrs. Judson, good old Mrs. Judson. When we play her, Ratigan loses up to 2 power, but he's already out of power, so that's not going to hit him real hard. And she's only 2 strength, so she's not that much of a threat. Olivia is only 1 power, but when you defeat her, you have to play the next card on the top of your deck. Which, could end up being a hero that hurts you or a card that brings Basil in or whatever. So there's a slight threat to that. So that's the card we'll be playing. We definitely don't want to play her here because this trap is about to go off and she'll just be defeated anyway. Or, we could, which would force Ratigan to draw another card. That could actually be a strategy. If you know she's about to get defeated, you could just set her there so that her ability will be activated. Don't want to set her here because Fidget's there guarding that area. I think for now, though, I'm going to put her at Buckingham Palace. That's the only safe spot for her at the moment. What are you going to do? Okay, well, they tried it, but they did not end up discarding my Marvelous Trap. So now my turn begins, and it says before Ratigan moves on your next turn. So we're going to do this first. We're going to discard this power. We're going to discard the trap, and we're going to defeat Basil. So we got rid of him. This might not be the last time we see him, but he's out of our hair for now. Okay. All right. We're going to move to Big Ben, and we're going to gain 2 power, and we're going to use our movement item or ally symbol and move Fidget over here. And then we're going to use our Vanquish symbol, and we're going to get rid of Olivia and say goodbye to Fidget. Okay. That means we have to draw the next card. Now, specifically, the rules say that you have an opponent do this, because you obviously, an opponent will play the card to the worst place possible for you. But we're on our own here. So we'll try to be fair and tough on ourselves. So here's Dawson. Good old Dawson. I really like him. His ability isn't a lot. He just gets stronger if Basil is in the realm. So we'll just put him somewhere where he can cause, a little bit of trouble by covering up the 2 power symbol. All right. But we still have a play a card symbol left, and we are going to play Belle. Not the one whose name means beauty. Just a regular old Belle. And that the cost to play items is reduced by 1 power, so we got to play that for free. So what Belle does when we activate it is we get to take Felicia from our deck or our discard and put her into our hand. So since Felicia is your strongest hero and you're going to want to use her over and over again or your strongest ally, I'm going to pause it 1 second, you guys, because my camera is complaining at me. Okay, hang on, and then we'll come back and talk about Felicia. Okay, Felicia. Yeah. You're going to want to bring her back as often as you can to munch on heroes. So you can play her and then ring the bell and bring her back. Okay? Cool. Fidget's List, another wonderful activated item. It lets you search through your deck until you find an item. And of course, items are very important to Mr. Ratigan. Sorry, Professor. Okay. But that was a good turn. We got a lot done. Proud of us. Let's draw our hand back up to 4. We have another trap. Getting a lot of traps. I would rather find more gears. To be perfectly honest. But we'll get there eventually. Okay. Turn our counter down to 14. And let's roll for fates. I would love to not have it happen this time, because we've been fated a lot, and it becomes a drag. Okay, that's fair. I don't have a condition card to play, but at least I didn't get fated. Again. Let's go pick up some more power, because we definitely need some. We gotta save up for that queen, and we got a lot of other things we need to play. I am going to play Fidget's List. How about we put it over here at Buckingham Palace? You are, if you find all the items that you need, you are going to have a lot of items piled up here with Ratigan, and you just have to pay attention and keep track, because they're all going to be piled up on top of each other. What are you going to do? And it also is good to spread them out, because if Sabotage or Basil is played on you, then, you're safe. There's only so many items that they can discard from you. So we played Fidget's List there, and we might as well play Marvelous Trap to Dr. David Q. Dawson's location. I hate using Marvelous Trap on a weaker hero, or when there's only one hero there. But you gotta do what you gotta do. We still have this uniform. If we find our other allies, we can use it with them. But we haven't found that yet. I'm tempted to discard it, because there are other items I'm looking for. Let's do it. And now watch me draw an ally. So I used my discard symbol, I played 2 cards, and I gained 3 power. And I'm going to end my turn by drawing my hand back up to 4 cards. Oh, yeah, we got the airship. You guys, the airship is amazing. I love it so much. And I'll show you why in, well, hopefully I'll get to play it. Love that airship. I didn't find it last time I played the game. And I ended up losing. Okay, so that's the end of our turn. We go down to 13. And oh, lordy. Oh, it pains me. What do we got? Okay, these are both pretty good cards. I think I already know what I'm going to play, though. The Mouse Queen. Strong hero, she's a queen. Best to play her at Buckingham Palace, because while she is there, Ratigan can't win. Even if he's got the Robot Queen at Buckingham Palace, he's got to defeat the Mouse Queen first before he can then meet his win condition. So that's a very good card to play. I'm not going to do it now, though, because I'm going to play this effect. Call for help. If Basil is in Ratigan's realm, you may move him to any location. So obviously that would move Basil, and you'd get to discard another item. If he's not, find him and play into any location, and you still get to discard an item. So we're playing Call for Help, and we're finding Basil, and he is coming to Dawson's rescue. So Dawson now is 4 strength, and now we've played Basil. Either one of these would be really good to get rid of. Because with this, then he wouldn't be able to call Felicia to stick him on us. But there's actually more of an immediate danger of Ratigan activating a trap, because he could just move over here and do that on his next turn, and that would take out both of them at once. So I think Basil's going to get rid of the trap. Hey, that's just like in the movie where Dawson and Basil were in danger of the trap, and Basil had to figure out how to disarm it. Wasn't that cool? It's really fun when you actually play out how the movie went. A friend of my friend Rob, that I keep mentioning on here, whose channel I should really link to. Is that a card? Yeah, there we go. He had never seen The Great Mouse Detective, but playing the game, he figured out the plot. He was like, oh, so he's like getting the robot queen to stand in for the real queen so he can take over the empire. And like, yeah, you got it. That's the plot. And that's why I also think the Ratigan is a really well-designed hero. Or I keep calling the villains heroes because they're kind of our heroes in a way. Anyway, that's why I think Ratigan's game is really well designed. It really does play out the plot of the movie. So we're going to pick up some power by going to Buckingham Palace and gaining 1 power. That's all we get. And we're going to play Greatest Criminal Mind and get 2 more power. Okay, so that's going to set us up for later. So we didn't really do a whole lot useful. That's okay. One little step at a time. Let's roll to perform a fate action right here. See if we get a little more lucky than last time. No, we do not. We lose power. Maybe we should stop trying to play fate. It's not going well for us. Okay, I'm not going to discard any cards, and I'm not going to move any items. We're happy where we are. So we're going to draw our hand back up to 4. We have a condition card now. This one lets us snag an item out of our discard pile. That's always useful. Especially if Basil has taken something from us. All right. We got these 2 heroes causing us trouble. All right, so we're down to 12. We're going to roll for fate. 0. Oh, thank goodness. Honestly, you guys. Okay. We got 3 power. At this point, I'm wondering if I should just spend the 5 power to play Felicia, because I really need to get these heroes out of my hair, but that's like all my power, and I don't want to do it yet. So I'm just going to play... I'm not going to play the airship either yet, because I don't want it to get discarded on me. So I'm going to play Gears, and I don't have to spend anything to play it, because I have my tools. And I'm not going to play any other cards. I'm going to discard my condition card. I don't really need that right now, as lovely a card as that is. And I'm going to save up this stash of power that I've got. We're moving along a little slowly. There are some other cards that we kind of need, and I should probably use Fidget's List to go through my deck soon. What have we got? Oh, we've got some allies. That's helpful. And we've got another condition card. But I got rid of my... uniform, which makes my allies stronger. Oh, well. Okay. So that's done. Cool. All right. That's the end of our turn. We're taking this down to... Where did the number 11 go? Sorry, guys. I think in the Dr. Facilier video, I talked about how I didn't get to grow up playing RPG. Yeah, RPGs. So I'm not familiar with a 20-sided die, and I don't know where all the numbers are. All right, roll for fate, and we get 0 again. Thank goodness, honestly. Let's move over to the secret lair. I'm first going to play Ruffians for 2 power. And no, I'm not. I'm going to play them here because when you play Ruffians, you can perform an action at the location they were played to, except for Fate. So they cost 2 power, and then I'm going to collect 3 power. So I basically get 1 power for playing them. And I can move them over here to Basil's location if I need to. That's fine. It's not a big deal. Okay, let's activate Fidget's list, and we're going to reveal cards from the top of our deck until we find an item. And then we stop, and then we take that item and discard the rest of the cards. Now, there are tons of items in Ratigan's deck, like I said, so this might stop quickly and you might not find the one you want, but you can just keep activating it on your next turn until something cool comes up. Oh, hey, look at that. That was lucky. This is our winning card. This is the card that we have to play to our lair. That's where you have to play it, and then you need to move it across the board until you get her to Buckingham Palace, and then start your turn with her there. Okay? So that just pushed our game way forward. So you'll notice she is 15 power, so that's why you work so hard to find ways to make her cheaper. We've got 2 Gears cards, Flaversham, and Tools. So that takes off 3, 6, 9, 10. So she will cost us 5 power to play right now, unless we, find some more gears or whatnot. And then the airship comes in handy. I think you can put it together. Why? All right, cool. Well done, Fidget's list. That was a really good use of that item. Sometimes you just bring up stuff that you don't really need right now. Let's roll for fates. All right, we're going to perform a fate action. I know it hasn't gone well for us so far, but we're going to try. Ratigan is nothing if not overconfident. So, oh yay, we got +1. Okay, that's excellent, because we have much more than 5 power now, and 5 power is what we need to play the Robot Queen. Cool. I'm going to take a quick break because my mouth is drying out and I need to drink something, and I'm going to be right back, and we're going to dive back into this. This is getting good, you guys. Hang tight. Hopping back in, let's turn our counter down to 10 and roll for fate. We are halfway through our allotted turns in order to accomplish our objective, but we're in a very strong place because of the cards that we have in our hand right now. And we rolled 0, so we don't get fated. Yay! Okay, let me look at my cards first before I decide where I'm going to go. Let me explain why we're in such a good place right now. We have the Robot Queen. That's the card that we need to win, right? We need to get it to Buckingham Palace. And we have the airship. This is why you remember me geeking out about this card. The airship will move 1 ally or 1 unattached item at its location to any location. So you activate it for 1 power, and it moves anywhere, and it can take an item with it. Guess what item we were taking with it, right? So you can use the airship to immediately transport the Robot Queen to Buckingham Palace, and then you don't have to spend several turns moving her location by location across your board and putting her at risk of being discarded. So that's why I was so jazzed to get this card, because this card, you don't need it to win, but it's the fastest way to win if you can. And then we have Felicia. So we've still got Basil and his buddy Dawson in our realm, and so Basil could really screw things up for us. He could take out the Robot Queen, and our objective would change. But we got Felicia in our hand, ready to take him out. So whichever objective we end up needing to accomplish, whether it's getting the Robot Queen to her location or defeating Basil, we have the cards we need to do it. That's pretty great. You're not always set up so well with this game. So that has me excited. Pretty friggin' stoked. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move to Flaversham's Toy Shop and gain 3 power. We've got a really nice stash of power happening. So here's where it gets scary. Because now we're putting our cards out and putting ourselves at risk of getting sabotaged. But you gotta take risks if you want to, rule all of Mousedom. Let's lay down the airship first. We still have our tools in place, so the airship costs us nothing. We're going to play it right here to the secret lair, and then we will play the robot queen to the secret lair, just like it says, and she costs us 5 power. Still a pretty expensive card, but it could be 3 times as bad. Oops. Dropped some power there. Sir, you dropped some power over there. All right. So we've got Felicia ready to go. That's pretty great. I would normally discard my condition card, but this actually helps me blunt the effect of having Fate played on me. And I really need that right now in case I get faded because I'm very close to my win condition. So I've gained 3 power. I've played 2 cards. I'm not going to discard anything. I have 2 cards left. See how I was saying like this, the bottom of Ratigan's realm can get really full because, you know what? I'm sorry. We are supposed to discard these gears. These gears are what helps us take off some of the cost of the mouse queen, or the robot queen, rather. So you're supposed to discard them. Okay. Whew. Caught it before it was too late. All right. But anyway, still, there's still like a lot of stuff here. You just have to stay on your toes. Okay? So I'm going to just set my hand down very carefully on top of all these cards. Going to draw my hand back up to 4 to end my turn. Interesting. Not what I would have loved, but here it is. Okay. But you know what? It's really okay. Okay. So let's turn our counter down to 9. Let's roll for Fate. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. I think this is so playing out like the like the movie. Basil is waiting for us at Big Ben. We've got the robot queen ready to go with our airship. Oh, okay. We didn't get faded. That's possibly a little bit unrealistic. If you were actually playing this game and you had just played these 2 cards, you probably would get faded. If your opponent knew what they were about. If they had perhaps just played Fate and then they had to move on the next turn to a new location where there wasn't a Fate symbol, maybe you'd luck out that way. But normally I would assume you'd get stomped on because that's just the way it goes. I'm gonna do 2 things. First, we'll activate the airship, like I said, and that costs us 1 power, and so that will fly the robot queen all the way over to Buckingham Palace, saving us a lot of time and grief and anxiety. Okay, we like that, don't we? And then we're going to play Felicia. I am not going to discard an ally when playing her. I'm just going to pay the extra power because I can afford it right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See? That was a lot. If I get to the start of my next turn and Robot Queen is still safely here, I win. If I get fated badly and Basil discards her, then I've got Felicia at the ready to take him out. Okay? What do you think, guys? So like I said, every 5 turns you get automatically faded if you haven't been faded in the last 5 turns. And we've been faded plenty, so we haven't had to enact that rule. But I'm really wondering if I should just fate myself anyway, just so you get an idea of how this goes. Because basically, you've seen me accomplish this objective. We just have to wait till the start of our turn. So, I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Meanwhile, I'm performing a fate action with my fate defense die. And I get 1 power. That, every little bit helps. That could come in handy. Okay. So I'll just draw 1 more card, bring my hand back up to 4, and I have another capture card. Okay, I didn't know we had this many copies. There's 3 copies of that card. I usually just look for this card when I want to move Flabersham. But I could easily capture Dawson, move him over here. His ability doesn't really do anything. He could just get stronger if Basil is in the realm, but if I have him over here, I don't need to defeat him. So it's something to consider. I'm going to move this down to 8. I'm really wondering if I should just automatically fate myself, because that's what would happen if this were a game with a real opponent. I don't have the songwriting skills of Ashman and Mencken. Sorry, guys. Okay, so I would lose the 1 power. Okay, so I would lose 1 power, but my turn would start, and the robot queen would be at Buckingham Palace, and I win. Okay? So technically, yes, we have won, but let's go ahead and play fate. I don't know. There might be a call for help card. You don't know. And let's just see what happens if we do that. Shall we? Ha 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 ha! Yep. Alright, so move him to any location. So we would move Basil here, obviously. And we discard an item from his location. We would discard the robot queen. Now, again, we've technically completed our objective. We started our turn with the robot queen at Buckingham Palace. We're just doing this for fun, to illustrate how this works. That was a lucky draw. Thank you for playing into my need for drama, Fate deck. So when the robot queen is discarded, you can't get her back. She's gone. Your objective changes. You now have to defeat Basil. Okay? And here's how we're going to do that. First, oh no. Oh, good. Okay, cool. Okay, so, you know what? Actually, so if someone had done this to us, we could have played Devious, and they would have only been able to reveal 1 card instead of 2. I think Call for Help was on the top, so they would have revealed that anyway. But this card can help slow people down going through your Fate deck, so, you're getting the Call for Help or Sabotage less often, or, if Basil's still in that Fate deck, you're keeping him there a little bit longer, But we were purposely trying to sabotage ourselves. I think all artists do that from time to time, sabotage ourselves. So here, our objective has changed. We now have to defeat Basil. We're going to move to Big Ben. We're going to use our play a card symbol and this 1 power that we got from performing a fate action earlier. And we're going to play Capture for 1 power and move David Q. Dawson over to the secret lair. So we've captured him. That opens up our move an item or ally symbol. So we will move Felicia. We could gain 2 power too if we want to. We don't need to at this point, but there it is. And then we'll use our vanquish symbol, and we will defeat Basil with Felicia. Ta-da! So there, we accomplished both objectives. You don't ever need to do that. Once you accomplish the first objective, you've won. But I just thought it would be fun to show you how the other one is accomplished. And we were, like I said, we had a very strong hand. I set myself up very well by having Felicia there ready to go to get rid of Basil. And I just happened to have that capture card, which allowed me to move Dawson and access my move symbol so that I could get rid of him in one turn. Sometimes you might be chasing Basil around for a while, or you might not have Felicia on hand, and you have to stack up some of their allies against him, and that can be more difficult. But there's a reason he's called the greatest criminal mind. He was prepared. Okay? So he got the robot queen to the palace and defeated Basil. A really good day's work for our guy, Professor Ratigan. Couldn't be prouder. Friends, we've got another crazy, cool, fun villain coming up next. Yazima from The Emperor's New Groove. Her game has a special setup, and I just watch this channel. I might actually have a short video before her actual playthrough to show how we're going to do her setup and how we will make it work for solitaire rules. But in the meantime, thank you for joining me again. This was great. I love Ratigan. I could play him over and over again. So much fun. Let me, real quick... Oh, he's on the bottom of the pile. So we got some more gears. This was one item I was hoping to get. You activate Royal Robes and you gain 2 power. And so you effectively turn this activate symbol here at your lair into a gain 2 power symbol. Really like that item, but we didn't get to have it. Got some more ruffians. So, again, reenacting the movie, you'll remember that Bartholomew gets fed to Felicia when we first meet her in the movie. And so that's what this card is for. He costs 0 power. He's only 1 strength. You don't really use him as an ally against any heroes. He's basically there to make it easier to play Felicia. So when you play Felicia, you're supposed to discard 1 ally, right? So that's what he's here for. If you find Bartholomew, play him right away. He's 0 power. Just get him out on your board so that when you find Felicia, you can play her quickly and you don't have to discard a more useful ally like the ruffians or Fidget. So that's the only thing I wanted to show you. Yeah. Hey, that was pretty great. Oh, there's Toby. And a couple of... Anyway. Toby is stronger than Basil. Toby's 6 strength. You definitely need Felicia to fight Toby. But anyway, so Yazima's coming up next. If you all enjoyed this, if you would like to keep these videos coming, please hop in, leave a tip at ko-fi.com/Strugi. We got one more villain here in this expansion, and then we move on to this one with... Oh, whose outline is that? Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, this was great. This went really well, and I'm so happy about it. I'm just sitting here staring at it. Thanks for joining me, you all. Please join me again and again for more games. Go back and watch the other ones, too. And we'll be back for some more nefarious fun. Bye. Goodbye so soon, and isn't it a shame?